So recently, the Titan submarine was found at the bottom of the ocean, and I figured I'd just make a video talking about it because that's just the dumbest damn thing that happened. So the Titan submarine was a dinky little piece of shit built by crackhead CEO Stockton Rush, designed to take people down to the Titanic to, get a better look at it up close in person. Now, to give you an idea of how deep the Titanic is, the Titanic is 12,500 feet down, and a sperm whale, which is the biggest predator in the ocean that we know of, only goes down 7,380 feet. So, it's pretty deep. And this submarine was not built to specification. The material used to build it, the carbon fiber, the CEO bragged about getting at a heavily reduced price because he got it from Boeing, the airplane company, because it was out of date. It was done being used. They couldn't safely use that carbon fiber anymore, so he got it at a discounted price and immediately thought, oh, well, I could just use this, damaged and not safe material to make a submarine to go 12,500 feet down to the Titanic. So it actually started what should have been 2-hour descent to the Titanic on Sunday at 8 a.m. Now, it took an hour and 45 minutes for communications between the submersible and the surface vessel to be lost, according to the Coast Guard. Now, for reference, the communication system they were using wasn't a reputable, trusted communication system. It was Elon Musk's Starlink. That's how they got internet down there. That's how they communicated. They had Starlink. Now, if any of you don't know, Starlink is notorious for not being reliable and failing. So, of course, we should take this down to 12,500 feet underwater. It just amazes me. And he has gone on record saying that it's too safe. The submarine industry is too safe. There are too many regulations. It's stifled innovation. To give you an idea about where that line of thinking brings you, he is smooshed at the bottom of the ocean, probably crushed into about the size of a tin can. So, so much for safety regulations. They never returned. After 9:45 a.m., they never returned. They were never seen again. No more communications, nothing. For the next 4 days, there would be a search for them, finally concluding on Thursday, when at about 2 p.m., a debris field was found near the wreckage of the Titanic that contained pieces of the Titan submersible. The debris was consistent with loss of the pressure chamber and an implosion. There were no survivors. So the running theory is that what they could find off the wreckage is that they died as soon as communications cut off at 9:45 a.m. on Sunday. Like the submarine crushed. From what I've heard, upon further inspection of the wreckage, which obviously they haven't got to do too much of a thorough look at it yet. It is Friday when I'm recording this, and it was just found yesterday on Thursday. It seems like they were trying to ascend. There was like they were trying to emergency ascend up, or something like that. And so they knew that they were going to die down there. I imagine the communication cut out probably a few minutes before that, and that's why they couldn't, tell us over communications, hey, we're about to fucking die down here. In fact, I think the CEO refused to use regular and standard radio communications because he said it was too annoying. The constant updates were too much. He didn't like them. On top of that, the CEO he doomed the whole thing. I mean, really, the people that got on should have done done even a little bit. Just a little bit of background checking information, because this didn't just transpire like this year. This submarine has been a thing, and this guy has been saying this shit for years. In 2021, he was quoted in an interview as saying that he'd like to be remembered as an innovator. That it was General Douglas MacArthur who said, "You're remembered for the rules you break, and I have broken some rules to make this. I think I've broken them with logic and good engineering behind me." This really doesn't age well. I mean, looking back at this, logic and good engineering, they are crushed down to like the size of a Nintendo Switch at the bottom of the ocean. Not even actually. They've imploded, so they've likely, just spread out by now, completely gone. It was probably a painless way to go, though, from what I've heard, so that's good. But the carbon fiber and titanium, there's a rule you don't do that. Rush said, speaking of materials used to construct this up. Well, I did. It's picking the rules that you break that are the ones that will add value to others and add value to society. And that really, to me, is about innovation. Will Conan, chairman of the Manned Underwater Vehicles Committee of the Marine Technology Society, told Reuters that while carbon fiber was a unique approach, nobody had ever made a carbon fiber pressure hull for that depth before. And the thing is, it's because carbon fiber, unlike regular metals, doesn't bend, right? Other metals will bend and crush inwards before they completely just break. Carbon fiber does, it just breaks. It breaks. It's brittle. So when faced with intense pressures that it can't handle, it won't crush inwards. It would just completely break. And then in a few seconds, not even, in less than a second, the water pressure would have had these people destroyed. So, I mean, it's gruesome, man. And it's crazy that people like this aren't like, there's not more thorough background checking done for this. This could have been so easy to avoid because this interview that I've just quoted here was done in like 2021. Yes, that's a whole 2 years ago now. And these people still all got on the submarine. There was one passenger, he was a son of one of the other people that got on. He didn't want to go on. It's been on record now. He did not want to get on the submarine. He was terrified. But he did it because his father wanted him to for Father's Day. A life could have been saved here. But he still decided to get on the actual fucking iron lung and descend. Like, oh, I don't get it. I don't get it. How can you have so much money and still be so stupid, you feel me? Because I know I wouldn't have gotten on this damn submarine. I know there are a lot of people who wouldn't get on this submarine. I mean, going to these depths is not impossible. I mean, there have been people that have gone to the deepest point of the ocean, Challenger Deep. So it's not like this was, some big first-time feat or something. I mean, Gabe Newell, the funny haha Half-Life man, owns a company called Inkfish, which has submarines that can go this deep. So it's not like it's some highly, impossible pipe dream to think that you could go down to the Titanic. James Cameron, the creator of the movie Titanic, has gone down, as of the making of this video, 33 separate times to the wreck. And he's still alive. He's still here. So it's not like this was some, first time thing. These weren't like people doing, like, on the cusp of innovation, doing things nobody has ever seen before. This is just retreading ground that we've already passed. This is just doing something we've already done and have had the technology to do for a long time. But due to budget cuts and greediness, and not wanting to, and I go hire, what was it? He didn't want to hire the, people who are experienced in the field of making submarines, because they're all white men in their 50s, and that's not inspiring. I think that's just such a stupid statement. Now, of course, you have people who take it too far. You have YouTubers like The Quartering who have somehow spun that quote into a whole situation over wokeness causing the death of the people in the Titan. I don't think it was wokeness. I think it was just the CEO is a fucking idiot. And it's just this was going to happen no matter what, because he's the guy who's calling the shots and he's a fucking idiot. Why are we letting people like this? The Titan didn't get certified. It got no certification. It got nothing. So why were we letting this happen legally? This seems like a really big failure in the system to prevent something like this from. We shouldn't have let this guy do this. This guy should have been stopped legally from taking these people down here because this is such a danger. But they all signed waivers. So it's not the company's fault that any of them died. It could safely go down. I think the porthole glass was found by a safety man there to be able to go down about 1,300 meters successfully. And the Titanic in meters is 3,810 down. So that's not quite, that's not quite the distance there. And he got fired for pointing that out. So you can tell how much they cared about, making a safe submarine. They died deep down in the ocean, knowing they were about to die in a tiny submarine that I don't even think you could stand in it from what I saw. It was so small and cramped. And they died there. For what? For what? To go see the wreck of the Titanic? I can look at the wreck of the Titanic on YouTube right now. what, and I get there's a thing of seeing it in person, but if you want to go see the Titanic in person, go with a reputable company. Don't go with some, you have all the money in the world and you choose to go with some random startup. Like, what is this? What is this? It's like you could pick from any other experienced company, any other company that could take you down there. There are multiple people and multiple companies that would be willing to take these people down here that have safer technology. And they choose to go with some random startup, and it's not like they were getting some big deal or something. It's $250,000 a person. But, you know, I mean, it's no surprise. I mean, people are stupid, and they're just going to do stupid things. But ironically, by trying so hard to fight against, you know, safety regulations and complaining about how the industry is too safe, this whole situation is likely going to make people a lot more concerned with the safety of deep sea submarines and making sure that the build quality is good and everything's up to regulation. So really, he achieved the complete opposite of what he set out to do, which is nice because hopefully something like this won't happen again. But you know, it still sucks that it had to happen anyways. All right, I think that's about all I have to say about this topic. It's just so goofy to me. We'll be streaming later today. We stream every day. The stream starts between 7 and 8 p.m. EST. We also have a Discord server, link in the description. Make sure to check it out. I'll see you guys next time.